With The Amazing Race Season 36 officially done, I had the chance to speak to winning duo Ricky and Cesar.
Cesar. All right, that's a good name. Here's a clip of Blake's conversation with the guys. Take a look.
Something that I'm curious on, and I don't want to take away from your win at all when I ask this, but there has been a lot of backlash on social media regarding kind of, the season being heavily filmed in Spanish-speaking countries, and then also, Ricky, you kind of having that like Philly advantage, if you will. So obviously you guys have no say in obviously where the season films, but what would you kind of say back to those naysayers and viewers on social media? Because I'm sure you're aware of this. It's everywhere.
So first of all, like, if you're a super fan, you know that by percentage, teams that race on their hometown usually lose. So just putting it out there, like if not, you really don't get to call yourself a super fan, because you should know those things.
Yeah, and I think there's like a sense of like, oh yeah, we're gonna do well because I know the city. I was excited that we were there, but I also was very nervous. So we made sure that everything that we had done up to that point, we still applied to that leg. We stopped and got directions. It wasn't like, oh, I knew where a lot of those places were. Because I think still stopped and got directions.
Because I think that's where the curse sits. Like if you're overconfident or you're like, oh, I know it should be around here. There's no
we
should
never
be
did
around
that
here
the entire time.
So
We never
like,
played the overconfident, like we knew this. No, we played it as if we were in the back of the pack, that we were just struggling as everyone else. So I think that was it.
And something else like we were laughing about is like the 10 words that Ricky knows in Spanish. That's what
Apparently
that's what
everybody thought I was also
like, ay, qué bonito. Like,
yeah,
it was so
I'm not
silly.
fluent in Spanish. However, I do think that regardless of whatever country we were in, we were going to do well. In any country, you're going to come across someone who speaks another language, whether
now-
English, Spanish.
But I do have to say, asking for directions, if we got lost, we could approach absolutely anyone. But saying that as well, you have to consider that at least 6 teams have someone that could do that.
There were
There are
6
13 teams
that had someone that spoke Spanish. So the advantage of like,
so I have to say, like,
just Cesar spoke Spanish was kind of played out like, it wasn't the only reason why we were doing well. Was it a factor?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it
also-
wasn't the factor.
and the
because,
preparation that we put
Other
on
strong
it, like,
teams spoke Spanish.
and we talk about advantages as
He
well.
also
like,
speaks French. So like, there was a time in Chile, we borrowed a phone and the guy's phone was in French.
he was just I don't know why, but I was like, okay, I get to use my French.
So
you know,
he
like-
spoke to, the phone was in French and he spoke to the guy in French. They didn't show that, but it's like things like that. Like we had, yes, it was a factor, but his navigation skills were also really great. Reading a map is hard. That's
But I do that like when I'm food styling, I have to go to like many grocery stores in one day. So I'm like checking on my phone. I'm on Google Maps for a long time, so I know how to move around. So we were having all of those skills, but as well, I don't want to take for all the other teams. Everyone was like really competitive, and also really entertaining. But that's something else, But like with that, like we see, and we saw it ourselves. Like on that first day, we see Rod and Leticia, and we're like, oh my god, like. We see Juan and Shane, like
Juan and Shane.
Yeah,
You got
Izzy and Sunny, like so.
You've got so many, Derek and Shalisa, like,
And this is as well on perception,
Melissa,
visual
like, oh my God.
perception. And then on top of that, we keep saying that our bigger competitors would be all the other super fans because they have the same skill set that we do.
Juan and Maya, Danny and Angie, like all the fans. You're like, man, it was a really strong team. And again, we don't know where we're going. The production sets
absolutely.
months, years in advance. So we're just along for the ride.
Good
Do you want to go
stuff.
on the Amazing Race together?
No, I'm just kidding. We would actually have so much fun. It would be pure craziness. I want to say a big thank you to Naked Chicks Pasture, the Yoga Mala event, John Schaefer, 417 Cocktails, and Ricky and Cesar.
And another thank you to local boutique, The Dress Bridal, for styling me today. Tune in tomorrow for at 3 p.m. It's too many of the nature
Oh
drinks,
my
it's
gosh,
fine.
we'll see you.
Content segments paid for by The Resource Center.